Hello everybody, this is Serpent, and welcome back to another episode in iCraft. In the last one, we got some gravel and did some work on windows and stuff. We're going to be taking a short break in this episode. Well, maybe a longer break, I don't know. I might never come back to that. Nah, I probably will. But anyway, we are going to be taking a break this episode from that, and we are going to be gathering some resources for a group recording. We're going to be building some roads across the server, and yeah, we need resources for that. That's basically it. So I want to gather some of that. I have the list open on a different tab. It's a bunch of stuff. The first one is gravel, which we have a little bit of. Yeah, not bad. Anyway, so the first one's gravel, and then there's dirt next. I don't actually have any dirt, so I'm going to grab a couple of shovels, and we'll just head out there. Probably won't take too long to do this, so it probably won't be a full-length episode. I would make it one, except that we're going to be having... Do I have no shovels? I would make it one, except that we're going to have a... Well, the group recording, and that means that it's going to be out of sync with my schedule, so I don't really have enough time to make this a full episode. I'm going to be recording and editing all of it today, so it'll probably be shorter today, and then a little bit later is going to be, well, earlier than normal, sooner than normal is going to be the next episode. And that's the group recording thing. So, I shall get started pretty soon with this. My use of shulker boxes is very efficient. Each one is not that cheap either. Waffles is extortionate. No. Waffles prices are extortionate. Okay, good. Here's another shovel. Anyway, so I'm going to go and gather some dirt from somewhere that is hopefully unloved by anyone, because it's not going to look that pretty after I'm done with it. Also, I left all my arrows. That was a good idea, me, when I was unloading my inventory. Do I have any in here? Nice. Alright, so I'm going to be heading off, and I'll gather some dirt. I'll just fly over to a random patch, which is probably not that helpful, but I'll do it anyway. I want it to be a little bit more clear than that, though. And at the same time, I probably shouldn't take it from planes, because anything I take is going to be very, very visible. Alright, I'll take some grass from here. Except I don't have silk touch. I am very prepared for this. Trust me. Alright, I'll just start taking stuff from here. Although there's dirt there, so someone's been here. Oh wait, no, it's the animals, right. Okay, I'll just take stuff from here. So, I have I just have a quick subject that I might as well talk about here, because it's not going to be a very interesting episode, since it's going to be taken up primarily by a whole lot of resource gathering, which is not the most interesting of things. Now, my subject is Dungeons and Dragons. I don't know how many people actually play the game anymore. It's been out for a long time, so it might not be as popular as it once was, but I think it's still pretty popular. Anyway, so the game is basically a role-playing game where you tell a story with a bunch of friends as the characters that are in the story. So you go through a pre-made or made by you storyline, and you are characters that you make up, and what am I trying to say? So yeah, you go through the storyline as characters that you've made up, as if you were the ones that are taking part in the story, and you can go through a bunch of different scenarios. The possibilities are really very, very large, so I can't explain every game in just a few moments, otherwise it wouldn't be very interesting to play, would it? But you can there's a combat system, and you can interact with the people in the story, and there are puzzles. So it's got some scope. And the only problem, really, is that I have been struggling to learn how to play the game. It's not very friendly to get into. The rulebook, for example, the basic rulebook, is a good 114 pages long, which is a little bit intimidating. I have finished reading it, and to be fair, most of the pages aren't rules. A good 60 of them are a list of the effects of spells and the names of spells, and then descriptions of the character races and things, and basically a whole bunch of different options that you can choose for your character. So there is a good portion of stuff you don't have to read to know how to play the game. That stuff you just go through as you're getting new spells, or as you're making your character. You pick one from the 50 pages of that. So in all, it's probably about 30 pages in that rulebook. But that's not really all I needed to know. There was a lot more that I couldn't find in there, or skipped over as I was trying to sift through the stuff that I didn't need because it's 114 pages long. So I ended up I ended up probably having to spend a lot more time than I should have, because I still haven't played a game yet. Yeah, so that probably would have helped in the learning of the game, I imagine. No, I can no longer fix it. Also, why on earth do I have snowballs in my inventory? Anyway, so like I was saying, I still haven't played a game yet because I'm still setting stuff up, and I have gotten most of what I ought to know known. I have finished making a character, and he looks cool. He's got a bunch of cool stats and all that. He's a dragonborn warlock, and stuff. My brain is not functioning properly at the moment. So yeah, he's a dragonborn warlock, which is not an overly common combination, I suppose, but whatever. That's what you're supposed to do. Not really, but it makes things more interesting if you're not a bog standard character. So yeah, dragonborn warlock, and he doesn't have a whole lot of dragonborn traits. So yeah, not a huge dragonborn, but I liked how the dragonborn looked, because they look like humanoid dragons, which is pretty great. But that didn't really fit the idea of the character I wanted, so I just tweaked it to fit what I wanted. Deal with it. No, still, it's pretty good. It's a pretty good character, and I think I have managed to fit his backstory into the Dragonborn clan idea, all that stuff. I'll explain it in a little bit more, but I just finished gathering the dirt, so I need to figure out what I need to gather next. And I also need to figure out what I'm talking about, because I lost track a long time ago. Alright, so the next thing is oak and spruce wood. So, back to the Dungeons and Dragons story. Darn it, not yet. So, back to the Dungeons and Dragons story. The character is, like I said, a Dragonborn warlock, and he grew up in a Dragonborn clan for a little bit until he was 8, and then since he didn't really fit in, he was skinny and sly and disrespected the honor and history of the Dragonborn clan. He didn't really fit in. A rift formed between him and the other Dragonborn, and he eventually left at the age of 8. Dragonborn Dragonborn people mature a lot quicker than humans, so 8 is not actually as young as it seems. But yeah, he was young still, just not that young. And he ran off and then found some elves in the woods who he fit in better with. And during his time in the woods, he ended up having to barter with the Fey gods to get some magic in order to survive, which is the way warlocks get their magic, so that works. And then in the elvish city, he was realized to have some magic potential, and a druid took him on as an apprentice when he reached adulthood at 15. Like I said, a little bit faster aging. And the druid tried to teach him healing and magic like that, but he didn't really like that and preferred more manipulative and evil magic, which the druid did not like. So when Shamash, my character, the Dragonborn, was found out to be reading a forbidden tome of dark magic in the dead of night, he was cast from the elvish world, from the elvish village, and had to wander around for a little while. And then from there, he did still maintain a respect for elves as the first who actually managed to make him feel welcome. So he does like elves, even though they cast him out. Whoa, that was funny. I broke this, and the block was disappeared, but there were still leaves here. How could I break it if there are leaves? It doesn't make any sense. Then again, cause and effect are illusions, so nothing makes sense really. Anyway, he was found out to be reading the tomb, cast out, still maintains respect for elves, and once he was cast out, he gravitated towards Waterdeep and has been working there, sort of descended into his darker side as a criminal blackmailer ever since. But then he's found out. Well, not found out, but then he just starts the adventure from there, in whatever way the adventure calls for. That's basically his current form, a blackmailer, criminal guy. He's a lost soul, though. Troubled soul. So, yeah, I think that's about that for the character, but that's basically been my experience with Dungeons and Dragons so far. A lot of rule reading, finally got the enough knowledge to be able to make the character, and the character is pretty great. I like him a lot. I also drew a cool picture of him. I might end up showing this if I can be bothered to scan it. Anyway, that's about that for Dungeons and Dragons. Alright, that's about all I need in the Oakwood department. I think 12 stacks of planks ought to be enough, at least enough for my cut. Other people can get the rest. Oh, I'm not going to fly over the lava lake. So that's the oak planks, but I also need some spruce planks. So I'm going to try and find a mega taiga, as opposed to just a puny little normal taiga, and try and find some large trees, 2x2s, because it's so much easier to farm the stuff if you have a 2x2 tree instead of just the punies. Maybe I can spare enough bone meal to do that if I can't find a forest, but I don't want to. I'm already spending way too much bone meal as it is on the concrete, and I really need the bone meal, so probably won't end up using much of that. if worst comes to worst, I'll just head out there somewhere and start chopping down the little spruce trees. So, I did end up using some bone meal. I couldn't find any spruce forests. So, we do have a little less bone meal now, which is a bit unfortunate, but oh well. I do, it does remind me though, that I really do want a mob farm. I want the bones, I want the gunpowder, I want the zombie flesh. Not really that one, but you know, all the other stuff is good. So, that's probably going to be on our list for a little bit later. However, I do also want to get on with this episode, so definitely not going to do that now. However, one of the other things on the list is leaves, which I shall gather as well as the wood, probably from the same forest. In the case of the oak, I'll grab some of each. It didn't specify which tree species to use for the shearing, so I'm just going to grab some spruce and some oak. I'd assume that's what they wanted. So, what's another one on the list? Oh yeah, brown mushroom blocks. I do have a mushroom farm. I mean, a place where I farm mushrooms. But it's not all that great. But that's fine. I can use it. However, I don't have a silk touch axe. At least I don't think so. I'll look around, but that's probably not something I have, which is a little unfortunate. I might go and get one if I feel generous. I wonder how many leaves I'm supposed to get though. Probably a little bit more than that, because we need to put them down as bushes, and this probably isn't enough yet for bushes. I'll just shear until my shears break, and then that works. I just walked through this portal, and my horse, who was nowhere near the portal on the other side, teleported to me and died in the wall. Why? That was a good horse too. I'm a little sad about that. Anyway, I do have all the stuff that I was talking about earlier. I've got the wood and the leaves and some saplings as well. So I do also want to try and get those mushroom blocks, but I don't have the silk touch axe. So we're going to see if I have any silk touch books in my fish farm, and if I do, then I shall use up 28 bone meal getting those things, the mushroom blocks. And if I don't, then unfortunately there's not a lot I can do about it. I am getting a lot of lag right now, and I have no idea why. Aha! Toke de seda. Excellent. So, we can put that on our axe if I get enough levels, if it doesn't take too much. And if it doesn't, then all will be good. I do have a spare axe up there. I want to see if this one has enough stuff. You know what I mean. No, of course you don't. Oh yeah, I have the anvil in my ender chest, not in that repurposed old shack that I still haven't taken down. So, let's see, do I have enough levels for this? Cost 4. That's pretty convenient. Let's see, what about this one? Cost 5, okay. Alright, we have a silk touch axe now. Oh yeah, I covered over this area, didn't I? A little inconvenient, perhaps. Back. You have to give this stuff, these mushrooms enough space to grow, otherwise you're just wasting oods of bone meal, so That probably was a little more than necessary, but whatever. Alright, so this one mushroom shall sprout and spread its spores throughout the universe and create many more mushrooms. Okay, good. For a second there, it looked like nothing happened, which was worrying. There we go. Now I have enough mushrooms to start silk touching stuff. Alright, so we ran out of bone meal and we've got that many stacks. 5 stacks of ongos. So we can now basically stop gathering resources, because I think we've got enough for the group recording session. I imagine other people will be gathering stuff themselves, so we probably don't need to do quite as much as we did. At least I hope not. I hope I've gone for the slightly more than I needed to do rather than slightly less. Either way, though, this is a good amount of stuff. So yeah, I think that's probably about all the time I've got for today. Still have to edit this, and I imagine, well, we'll be doing the group recording session next episode, so, or tomorrow. So hopefully you enjoyed this episode. I'll pack all of this into shulker boxes, which are in my ender chest, and next episode will be the group recording session. Hopefully that's fun. So, thank you for watching. Hopefully you have a good day, and I shall see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.